Morning, everyone. And everyone, including all the people that had to work hard to prepare for this, so you're welcome, but especially those who had to work hard. We're pleased to have Mr. Yanku with us today and welcome him. I suppose this would be his first appearance in this new environment he's in. Intellectual property is critical to our national economy because it fuels innovation that improves the lives and creates jobs. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office plays a very central role in fostering innovation by promoting and protecting intellectual property rights, so it's important for the office to have a strong and accountable leadership. It's also appropriate for the committee to conduct robust oversight of the office or any of the bureaucracy as far as that's concerned, so that we can be informed about what's going on, what's going wrong, what needs improving, and whether stakeholders are satisfied with the system. We have many topics to cover. The United States is probably the most talented, creative country in the world. An effective and top-notch patent system only enhances the innovative spark and entrepreneurship for which our country is known and admired. A robust patent system helps to stimulate growth in our economy and create much needed new jobs for all Americans. Without such a system, entrepreneurs and inventors have fewer incentives to invest in, discover, and develop new technologies and products. When Congress passed the American Invents Act, that was in 2011, our goals were to make the U.S. patent system more efficient and streamlined and to enhance transparency, increase predictability, and improve patent quality. The reforms contained in the American Invents Act also were meant to help the Patent Office process patent applications in a more expeditious manner and reduce its large backlog. So I want to know whether the American Invents Act is meeting these goals and being implemented in accordance with congressional intent. I want to hear about the legislation's successes as well as concerns that may be out there. I'd like to get an assessment of the proceedings and processes set up by this new law, not so new now after 7 years. And I also want to ensure that the Patent Office is doing everything it can to issue high-quality patents in a timely manner and to prevent abuses of the system. In addition to patents, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office is responsible for trademarks as well as international intellectual property policy. The office also works as a copyright policy with the U.S. Copyright Office. We'll want to get an update on what the office is doing in these areas, and particularly I'm interested in hearing about the office's support for the Marrakesh Treaty and the implementing legislation that the Senate Judiciary Committee has been working on with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I want to discuss the office's efforts on geographical indications and how it can best defend the U.S. policy of American companies to use common food names. Now, how is the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office ensuring that the competitiveness of U.S. companies not being undermined by intellectual property theft and market access restrictions? It's critical that the office work closely with the USTR, the State Department, and others to ensure that our trade agreements contain strong intellectual property provisions and that the intellectual property of U.S. companies is protected in the international dealings. Finally, will want to know about the state of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office's administration and management, whether its workforce policies have been effective, and whether the office has addressed and resolved abuses that have occurred in the past, and whether the office is charging appropriate fees and using those fees well, and if there is a need for additional resources or legislative reforms to better execute its directives. So, to the Director, I look forward to the hearing about what steps you and the administration are taking to ensure that the office fulfills its potential, as well as strive to have the best intellectual property systems possible to promote and protect intellectual property. Now to Senator Coons.
Thank you.